Hello, hello. I don't know why, but oh, there you are. Hello, guys. How are you? It's telling me that people want to come in right now. I don't know why it's doing that. I think that's like a security thing that's come up on Zoom, but I'm just going to admit everyone's welcome. Okay, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a minute or two for people to come inside the room. Thank you all for coming. It's so great to see you guys. I'm still bringing people in. Just chat amongst yourselves, say hi. It's nice to see so many new faces as well. This is so cool. Hi, Lisa, Mary Louise, Karen, Eliana, Amy, another Karen, Hannah. Hi, Hannah, Mira, Joni. It's Joni again. Caroline. Hi, Megan. Amy. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you guys. Lisa. Again, we've got quite a few people waiting to come in as well. So I'm just going to keep bringing these people in to the room. Okay, so thank you so much for coming to this workshop. We have got so much to cover over the next 2 days. I'm going to try and keep it as succinct as possible. We've got 4 sessions in total. For those of you who are just joining, we've got 4 sessions in total. The first session we're going to be doing now. The second session we're going to be doing today at 7:30 my time. So that's in 3 hours. So we're going to be doing another session 3 hours from now for an hour. Then we've got tomorrow's sessions at exactly the same times. So tomorrow we're going to be doing the sessions again at 4:30 my time, which is now, and then again at 7:30, 3 hours from that time tomorrow. So make sure you put those dates, times in your diary so you can be here to join us live. It's great to see so many faces. This is so amazing. I'm still admitting people into the room, so I'm still going to give it just another minute. But what I can do while we're starting out is just say welcome everyone. I hope everyone is staying safe during this time. This workshop is all about the theory of how to thrive during COVID, because in actual fact, I don't think anybody in business in my lifetime has ever gone through this kind of strange pandemic. I don't think we've actually had one. So for me, it's all about the theory. It's all about coming up with ideas, coming up with plans, coming up with what we're going to do next. And that's all anyone's doing right now, including the government who are running countries, to business owners who are trying to just make it and survive right now. I'm still admitting people into the room, guys. So I'm still going to give it another minute. So what we're going to cover over these 2 days, I'm going to share that with you now, exactly what we're going to cover on each session, so you can be prepared and you can know what you're going to be doing. Thanks to everyone saying hi. Let us know where you're from. Always, I'd love to know where you guys are chiming in from. So leave that in the chat while we're still on. And I'm just going to basically start going through what these sessions are. So session 1 today is about the 5 new types of potential clients. Because when I was thinking about putting this plan together, right, the first thing you think about is, okay, well, who are you serving now? You know, like, who's out there that needs your business right now? Who are the people? We've got to be way more people-centric right now, thinking about their circumstances more in particular. So we're going to look at the 5 new types of potential clients. I'm going to share with you a 3-part plan of how I'm technically going to be putting myself out there now, or how I would suggest you guys do that now. We're going to look into pricing. We're going to look into who these people are. We're going to generally look into how this is going to come together in a really basic sense. Then in the next session at 7:30 tonight, my time, in the next session, we'll be looking at how to prepare for working in COVID-19. So to give you just a little bit of an update on the bare essentials on that, We're going to be looking at technology and why we need to pay attention to technology now more than ever, you know, and I think it's really, really important that we do that, because technology is what's going to keep these businesses running now. So we've already got a head start. If you have been working online for a while as a VA, as somebody in the service industry, you've got a massive head start on a lot of other people. So, and if you are not somebody who has been doing that, then hopefully this will give you a little bit of a head start, but it will also introduce you to the idea and the concept of what you could potentially do working online. In that session as well, we're also going to go through creativity and new ideas, how people are adapting their businesses right now. How do we need to be advising people to change, to update, to revamp, to shift? We're going to be looking at various ideas that I've come across over the last couple of months that I found online, things that particularly have interested me about, oh, I could be doing this with this client, or I could be suggesting that. So what we're going to do in this session this evening is just go through a whole bunch of ideas and things that we could potentially do and offer to people to help them continue with their business or start a new business. We're also going to look into the roles that we're going to be doing, or the roles that are sort of as part of that essential kind of online business operations. Then we're in session 3, which is tomorrow at 4:30, which is tomorrow this time. We're going to be looking at the free service that will make you money. So there is a free service that you can offer that will then, inshallah, is what we say in Egypt, God willing, will lead on to additional business. So what we're looking at is that free service that you're going to start using to bring new potential leads in, new potential clients, to start upselling packages. And in that session as well, I'm going to share with you the general questions that you will need to start asking clients in this new world that we're living in. We're going to look at a basic COVID response package, which I'm suggesting that you put together and put forward to potential clients. And we're going to be looking at 5 new upsell packages that you could potentially be offering clients. Now, if you are somebody that doesn't provide services and is not in the service industry, that's okay, because you can still take this information and apply it to your own business. Let's say you have an offline business, or you do something completely different to offering services online. If that's not your bag, then take this information and use it and apply it to yourself and to your own business. So once we look at those packages, we're going to look at the process of those, about kind of like going through the process with the client of how that's going to work. We're going to be looking at thriving industries. There are many, many industries that are still thriving during COVID. And I think we need to be looking at those, directing our attention towards those, seeing where we could potentially slot in. And a lot of these industries now, where they would completely dismiss remote working, offline workers, virtual staff, now have to kind of embrace it. So this is a good way of opening up into those industries. So we're going to be looking at those. We're going to be looking at sourcing clients and pitching. So those are the sessions that we're going to be going through. That's everything from today and tomorrow. So I hope that helps. I think we've now got everyone in the room. I think everyone's settled. So I think we can start this first new session. I'm just going to go through. Giovanni from San Diego, welcome. Karen from the UK. Hi from Oman, Karen Thomas. Auckland, New Zealand. Must be pretty late for you there, Tracy. Guatemala. Hi, Hannah. Wyoming, Montreal, and we got loads of people. Hi, Linda from Montreal, Stephanie from Washington, Selena from Switzerland. Nice. Orkney, Scotland, Mary Louise. Hi. Hi, Susie. I'm talking to Mary next week, one-on-one. Katya from Leipzig, Germany, was actually supposed to be in Hurghada, Egypt, but the COVID. We could have met, Katya. Oh, I know, and I don't even... Yeah, they're actually talking right now
about moving restrictions.
Yes, they're saying that they're going to start opening up the airports, but there is also a lot of controversy around that in Egypt right now, because the numbers are just escalating and all the hospitals are full right now. The foreign hospitals, the normal hospitals, And also they built quarantine hospitals in the desert.
Milan is just open the country. Oh.
Yeah.
بس last second wave. هي هاي اللي تخوف.
Do what, sorry? I didn't hear that, but okay. But yeah, so anyway, anyone thinking about visiting Egypt, they're actually considering opening up the country and opening up flights, which
I don't know if that's a good idea to be. I think all countries should close down for now.
Yeah, I think everyone's thinking that right now, particularly in these times where it's so unpredictable as well, you know. And they like Egypt are announcing, the government are announcing like there's this peak and we're through the peak and things like that. But what they're doing is a lot of this country is run by business, which is interesting actually. It's run by the businessmen, it's run by the people with the money. And there's a huge pressure because of the tourism here on opening the hotels and opening the bars and the restaurants and things like that. So it's been a real challenge, I think, for Egyptians in general, but it's been a challenge everywhere for everyone. So I just hope that we can all come out of this. But that's not why we're here right now. We're here to talk about how we're going to live in it. For sure, we're going to come out of this one day. I don't know when. Honestly, I don't know when. But we will. But in the meantime, we need to start thinking about how we're going to live in it. But also, if you are somebody who's not been in the service industry and not started an online business already or considered it, I would say I've been advocating. I was talking to Katrina, another VA this morning, actually. We were talking about how we're going to help some people kind of introduce the online business world to them. And what we were discussing is I've been telling people, like, start an online business for the last like 15 years, since I did it myself, you know. And I think so many people are in a state right now where it's like, I wish I did that. I wish I started a year ago. I wish I started 2 years ago. I wish I'd been in a position now where I could be moving forward and growing that business, because now is the time to do that. Sorry, I'm still admitting people in the room. So yeah, so basically that's what we're going to cover over the 2 days. I hope it's going to be really helpful for you guys. But right now we're already a quarter of an hour into it, so I'm going to start the first session, if that's okay with you guys. Just the final few. Hi Pam from Baltimore. Hi Anna from Côte d'Ivoire. I love seeing how many people we have from different countries join this thing. Jan from Oklahoma, Gloria from Las Vegas, Nevada, welcome. Who's eating and has an open mic? I think they've been muted now. Karen, the picture keeps coming and going. Keeps in black screen with Samara on the screen. That's strange. I'm okay right now. If anyone else has any issues, do let me know. I think Zoom is really overloaded right now because everyone's been on it. Oh, Karen says it's okay. No, that's fine. Okay, guys, so I'm going to start screen sharing. We're going to start going into this first session. Remember, we've got this first session now. We've got about another 45 minutes on this. Then at 2 hours after we finish this, we're going to start another one at 7:30 p.m. my time. More people coming into the room. I'm just going to let in. Okay, so I'm going to start screen sharing. Hopefully we'll all be able to see this shortly. Okay, guys, so if you can let me know if you can see that, it would be great in the chat. Can you see my screen? Yep. So everyone can see the presentation. Cool. Perfecto. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so just to let you know, after these sessions, there will be a recording. So don't worry too much if you feel like you've missed something, or you want to go and make a cup of tea or have a drink or whatever, go to the toilet, it's fine, because there will be a replay up on the page that you landed on after you joined to come to this session. And I will also most likely be adding links to resources and notes about the session as well on that page as well. So don't worry too much about like picking up on the salient points, the key points. I will add those with the replay, and I'll also add any links as well that I mention or I suggest to you guys as well. So to start with, this is the theory of how to thrive during COVID-19. This is session 1, where we're looking at the 5 new types of potential clients. This isn't rocket science. It's just looking at the world now, looking at the people now, and figuring out what we need to do as a collective. So if you are a service provider, start thinking to yourself how you can serve potential clients, how you can help support potential clients, bringing them in, teaching them, helping them how to start doing business remotely online. How can you support them on that? But not just that, about how to manage their daily lives. A lot of this is about life management now. We're home. There's a lot of people struggling right now in the situation, and we can also help them. It's not just purely about business anymore. And if you are here and you are somebody who is a business owner, then you can start looking at these sessions and start thinking to yourself, particularly in the next session, and sessions 2, 3, and 4 are probably more for you, but they're going to be about ideas, how you can innovate, how you can stretch your business a bit further, how you can start working online, that type of thing. I'm really curious here as to who's here, as to whether you are just curious, you're a VA, or you work online as a freelance or something like that, or if you are somebody who has just like a kind of normal offline business and you're looking to figure out how to take that online or what you can do next. So if you can leave a comment for me right now, that would be awesome. So I just know. Okay, so Katya's a VA, my own is VA, curious, online consultant, VA biz, curious, hoping to become a VA. What is a VA? Michelle, a VA is a virtual assistant. It's somebody who supports other people online, providing services to them. So that's what a lot of the people do here in this room. So you've got a couple of directions to go in. You can start providing services, or you can start looking about how you can get people to help you adapt your business to this new world. Karen's just starting as a freelance VA. She called my freelancer program. That's so cool, but not set up the business. Linda is a freelancer. Anna is a freelancer. Karen is an online VA. Of course, you are, darling. Michelle, got it? Cool. Eliana, PA, always curious to get inputs from other assistants. That's great. This is a good place to be curious. Okay, so let's look at the 5 types of new potential clients. So for me, the first one we can all identify with is type 1. It's the frontline workers. Okay, these people, I think, have never been under so much stress, so much pressure, not only because their jobs have like doubled, tripled, quadrupled in the last month, and it came out of nowhere. It just hit people out of nowhere. The health staff, the medical workers, if you watch the news, you will see that everyone says, from Italy to Spain to England to America, nobody was prepared for this. Like, I mean, particularly the healthcare workers, the frontline people in the healthcare sector, they're like, this has never happened to us. We never prepared for this. And they've got all sorts of challenges they're facing like the social distancing, the lack of PPE right now. So there's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on them at work right now. So I would say what we need to be thinking about is how we can help these frontline workers who are completely overloaded, busy all the time, working sometimes shifts that exceed 24 hours in one go. They've lost their work-life balance. They've lost the time with their family. They've lost a lot of things. And many of them as well are dealing with children at home because there's no schools open right now in a majority of places. So what we have to be thinking about is, yes, are these frontline workers potential clients? They are. We're going to look at what we can offer these potential clients in another session. We're going to look at this in session 3. So we're not going to be looking at what we're going to be offering these clients right now, but we're going to be identifying who these clients are right now. So the frontline workers is now a new type of client. And when I say this, we're talking about the healthcare workers, people who work in the grocery stores, the supermarkets, the pharmacies, all of those people who are like right now having to deal with the general public, the only people pretty much who are dealing with the general public. Then there is type 2 clients. Type 2 is the client who has now started working from home because their offices have closed down because of the social distancing measures, but they don't feel their job is very secure. I don't know if you guys saw this morning, but big companies are laying off a lot of clients. I saw an amazing letter that Airbnb wrote to their workers saying they're going to cut their workforce by 25%. And I read that this morning, and it's really alarming, you know, because a lot of people are thinking, well, I work for a big corporate, they're making a lot of money, we're going to be fine, there's security there, they're going to be able to ride this out until, you know, they've got enough money to ride this out until such times as COVID is finished. But we're finding it's not the case. We're only like, let's say, a month and a half, 2 months into the thick of lockdown, COVID, that type of thing. In the Western world, in Europe, for example, in America, and already the big companies that were doing really, really well are having to start laying people off. So where everyone was thinking, I'm secure, I'm in a corporate, it's not the case anymore. That security is gone. Pam said, bless their hearts, I've been doing prep for a new site to help some of the retail workers actively in the past. Jan says it's time for them to streamline, especially those who are in the edge. J. Crew, for example. Yes, Airbnb basically announced that today. They're cutting 25% of the jobs. They're giving people medical pay. They're giving people several weeks of, I think it was like 6 weeks or something like that, of pay to help them get through. They're going to be working in the job for the next week to help them transition. I think May the 11th, they're going to start this. And they're giving interviews as well to everybody who receives an email that basically says, you're fired, or we're going to keep you and we're going to change the situation. They've had to come up with a whole new strategy for their business. People need help with this. And if you're an online worker, people are going to need help with the strategy. They're going to need your mind. They're going to need your experience. They're going to need your expertise. We have been doing this like second nature for God knows how long. I've been working online in this industry for 15 years. So for me, when it occurred, like there's going to be a lockdown, everyone has to work from home, everyone has to start working online. It's just like, this is like my normal life. It's like, there's really not a lot that's actually changed in my life other than I've got my kids home full time right now, and I don't go out as much as I used to. But a lot of people are really feeling this right now. Still got more people coming in the room, welcome. A lot of people are really feeling this right now. So type 2 clients are the ones that are currently employed, working at home right now, but they're starting to see companies like Airbnb and a lot of major companies laying off staff. And this is just the first wave. And believe me, next month there'll be another wave. And as the strategy changes and things start to adapt, it's going to be another wave. So let's keep this in mind, that these people are going to start thinking to themselves, I need alternative options. What can I do? And we're going to talk about what they can do in session 3. That's type 2. Type 3 is those who have their own offline business. So not an online business, but an offline business. And also, I'm not talking about people with a website, because people with an offline business can have a website, but that doesn't mean they have an online business. So sometimes there is a little bit of confusion about that. Sometimes when I've talked to clients, I've said to them, oh, do you have an online business or an offline business? And they said, oh, I have both. I have a business online because I have a website. That's not an online business. That's not a functioning income generating business on its own as a standalone service or as a standalone offer. So there are people who have an online business, offline business, even if they have a website, they have this offline business, but they can't move any aspect of it online. It's really interesting, actually. The people that I've spoken to since COVID happened, they've been like, oh, I'm a hairdresser, so I can't, I'm in a type 3, I'm a hairdresser. because they touch people, you know, they have to touch people, or a massage therapist, or anybody who has to have that interaction. I would say there are many, many cases where people will say, oh, it's not possible for me to work online. And there are actually many, many cases where there aren't, because they haven't actually thought outside of the box yet. Yeah, for sure, you can't cut somebody's hair through a computer screen. You can't give someone Reiki or healing therapy, you know, with your hands through a computer screen. But you can share how to do it. You can teach people how to do it. And there's many other things that you can potentially do. We're going to look at those in the session that's coming up tonight in a couple of hours. So we're going to look at that then. But those people who say, I've got an offline business and I can't move it online, or I can't move any aspects of it online, we've got to dig a little bit deeper just to make sure that's 100% right. In some cases it will be. And that's type 3 clients. So we're going to look at what they need to be doing next. And I'm sharing this with you now so we can start thinking about, what do we need to be telling these people? How can we help these people right now? We can't just say, oh, well, you've got an offline business and you can't move it online, so you're stuffed. No, it's like we can't leave these people. No man gets left behind here. And this is why these 5 types of clients are so important, that we see them as potential clients. Then there's type 4. And type 4 is that they have their own offline business and they think, or they know that they can translate some of it, all of it, aspects of it online, but they struggle with really understanding how, because they've never had to do it before. Let's say you've got a little boutique shop that sells health supplements or something like that. Or you've got a little boutique fashion store or something like that. People who make bags, people who make jewelry, you know, a lot of people are in this kind of like offline world, the high street, the back end stores, you know, the little shops that are just completely closed right now. So they have this offline business, people who do therapies, treatments, beauty, all that type of thing. Funnily enough, beauty is one of the most thriving industries right now, which we're going to talk about in another session. But they have their offline business, but they know, I can do something, but I'm completely lost as to how that works. So we're going to be looking at this type of client and how you can help them in a later session, but that's type 4. And then there is type 5. So type 5 are those that have been either laid off from work already, they've already lost their jobs, or they've already got a business and they've already lost their customers. So this is like the peak of despair type people, where they've been fired, laid off, no longer working in their jobs, very limited funds, very limited resources, may have lost all their customers overnight. I have 2 clients. I lost my 2 biggest clients because literally they lost all their customers overnight because they were in the travel event sector. Obviously, there's no travel happening right now and people can't get together for events. So their business just ended up getting, because of their refund policy, shitload of refunds over a very, very short period of time, escalated into thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. And their business just went in on itself. So these people are going to be the people that are feeling most vulnerable right now. Type 5 are the people that are going to be the most sensitive right now, I think. And they feel like they can't translate any business or any job that they did online. Maybe they're working in a corporate company. It's very difficult if you're in a job role in a corporate company, working in that type of environment where you have one specific thing or several specific roles that you do every day, and you do it for a specific purpose for that company. It's so hard to think, what do I do now? I'm not able to transition into another job exactly the same. So how is this going to work for me? And particularly people who feel like their job skills can't be translated. We do have a solution for those people as well. And like I say, we're going to discuss these solutions for these people, all these people, in the later session. There is a wild card, actually. I called this the 5 types. This type 6 says the independent wealthy people. These are the people of the rest of the world who have money to live and don't want to work or necessarily do anything. they are not, I don't think, a potential client. However, if you've got somebody like that, then for sure, hold on to them. those people with loads of money who have nothing else to do. Interestingly enough, like a lot of the, like, it's amazing where things can come from if you just allow things to come into your life. I'm very much of an allower. I don't try and resist or fight things if bad things happen in the world or to me personally. I don't ever say, oh my God, my luck is down. Everything's going wrong. This is not worked out. This is like bad. No, I'm not one of these people who kind of sits there and dwells on woe is me, why is this happening? I'm kind of one of these people that's like, okay, well, this has happened to grow somewhere, or to allow something else to come in, or allow something better to come in, or get a better alternative option or something like that. Right now here, all the beaches are closed where I live. I live on the Red Sea in Egypt. So here we have a massive kite surfing community, windsurfing, big water sport community, boats, I live in a country where there's a lot of yachts. And right now the Red Sea is kind of basically like closed to all of these water sports. So if you've got someone who's a kite surfing instructor, they could be sitting there thinking, well, my business is literally dead until like the main beaches open up again, the kite surfing centers open up and again, things like that. So there's a story of a guy who was a kite surfer, and he's in Egypt. One day his friend calls him up and says, oh, I've come back home, but I've got somebody who's just moved to El Guna, where I live, and he needs some help with a windsurf. And this guy says, okay, that's fine. I can go and help. That's no problem. You know, I'm not doing anything else right now. So he goes there, and this guy happens to be a doctor, and he happens to have just moved to El Guna. And he's got his windsurf there, and this guy fixes the windsurf. And then he says, oh, I see you've got some kites. And, you know, he's like, yeah. He said, do you know what? He said, I've got like 3 or 4 kites for kite surfing. He said, I can't kite surf, but I really want to learn, and my kids really want to learn. And I've got several windsurfs, and I don't windsurf, but I really want to learn, and I really want my kids to learn. And I've got loads of fishing equipment, loads and loads of fishing equipment, and a boat, which I bought, and I don't know how to fish to save my life, and I don't really know how to use a boat. This guy that went to him, his 3 favorite things in the entire world happened to be kite surfing, windsurfing, and fishing. And he's completely fantastic and brilliant at all of them. So he says to the guy, if you're interested, I don't have any work right now. I can teach you and your kids how to windsurf. I can teach you and your kids how to kite surf. And if you want to go out fishing, I can teach you how to do fishing as well. And we can go out on the boat. So this guy is now earning money doing the absolute 3 favorite things in his life ever. And at a time when none of this is happening, because the kite centers are closed, the businesses are closed. So you have to start thinking to yourself, like, what potentially could happen to me? What potential out there is there? And that's absolutely true story. And it's like from yesterday I heard this. So online support workers can help. They can help various client types. It's just a case of finding out how and what you as an online service provider can do for them, or if you're not an online service provider, what people can do for you. So the perceived challenge is then how we get compensation for our time in supporting others and demonstrating that it's a good investment into a very rocky and declining economy. So I think the biggest challenge that we have as service providers is really communicating to people why now is a really good time to hire. And again, we're going to be discussing that in the last session. We're going to be looking at pitching, we're going to be selling points, benefits, that type of thing. But from the other end of the spectrum, if you're somebody in a position where you don't offer services, you have to start now thinking to yourself, well, what can I do? Why is this a good investment? I'm going to help communicate why now is a good time as well. in the last session. So we're going to just basically cover looking at the plan. I'm just going to go back to the notes here. Michelle says, type 3, I have a photo studio and I'm a makeup artist. Taking print screens over a Zoom session isn't really what I want to do. Yeah, for sure. I understand taking print screens over a Zoom session would be, particularly if you're an artist. There's something I find about working with really creative people who use their hands. I'm a digital creative person. I'm not like really a necessarily creative person with my hands. My son loves to do origami, you know, and I was thinking to myself, imagine if he did origami or something for a living, what would he be doing now? My daughter really loves to paint, you know, like she loves art and things like that. And it's like, well, if you were doing art as a living and you had a gallery, what would you be doing now? So it's all a case of just kind of like thinking to yourself, okay, this could work, this wouldn't work. So for you, taking print screens over Zoom for sure wouldn't work, but what could work? And that's where we have to start exploring a little bit further. In the next session coming up, I'm going to be sharing with you some ideas and things that I've come across about what people are doing online with their businesses now, which even I never would have considered. I say even I is because I have quite an open mind and I'm always constantly thinking about how people can go digital. But that's, I think, where my mind has been a little bit closed for a long number of years, is that I'm all about thinking, how do people go digital? How do people go digital? But you don't actually need to completely go digital. Even in COVID, even in lockdown and social distancing, there are other things that you could potentially do, because we are still able to stay like 2 meters apart from each other. And obviously lockdown restrictions are more tight in some areas than others, but there are things that we can do. And I'm going to share with you some ideas and some things and business things I've come across out from listening to news, from reading articles, that are really like, that just took me aback, like, oh my God, can't believe someone's doing that. That's genius. So yeah, there's a lot of people really innovating right now. And I want to share with you those ideas in the next session later today. Pam says, Jan is right. So many are tech challenged, really tech challenged. But I think technology these days, I think, is more intimidating than people think it is. We've come a long way in SaaS, like software as a service systems. We've come a long way in the what you see is what you get editors. We've come a long way so much in helping people who aren't necessarily technically adept or a little bit technophobe to actually start using systems and tools online. I'm going to share with you in the next session some really easy ones that you can use or start to look at that aren't too intimidating, but will allow you to start thinking about what technology that you can use, even if you've got no experience of doing it. And if you don't have experience and you are tech challenged, then there is always the option of hiring someone to support you and help you. So don't feel like everything is lost. Pam says, my niche is pet sitters and I've been writing blogs to help trigger ideas and encourage them. Pam, that's an excellent thing to do. We're also in these sessions going to be talking about what you could potentially do now, even if people are in a position where they can't actually physically make sales and do business, what they could be doing to be proactive and productive during that time. Pam, what you're doing is excellent. So Lisa says, we've got to think outside the box. Yes, we absolutely have to do. And Michelle said she's awesome photographers to do that too. Okay, that's cool. So the basic plan, and this is more aimed at people providing the services online. So like I say, this first session is more aimed at that. And then the next 2, 3, and 4 sessions are more aimed at the wider markets as well, not just people who are providing services. But basically, we're looking at the plan for doing business now, which is primarily based on these 5 types of customers. Now, in my training in the olden days, like it feels like the olden days, it's only like before last month, I would always advocate fixed prices on websites, transparent pricing on websites, charging exactly what you're worth, not settling for anything less unless it's beneficial to you, that type of thing. That's always been my pricing structure, my pricing model. And that could be $5 to some people, and it could be $50 to others, or pounds. But now I think we have to start thinking about the people, the types of people, and basing our plan for doing business around those types of people and what they're going through, because we're all in the same boat now. We're all struggling right now. So the first part of the plan is, the goal is now to establish which type of client you can help in their current circumstances. So if you are not somebody who's establishing this type of client, you have to look at yourself and say, what type of client am I right now? That's a really important part of this process. It's like saying, am I 1 to 5? Where am I on this spectrum? So if you're a VA, you have to establish the type of client. Are they type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And their current circumstances. So in the next section, I'm going to give you some ideas of, in session 3, we're going to look at consultation questions and things like that to establish what people's circumstances are. So this is the first part of the goal. Then the second part of this is how you can actually help them in some capacity. So we have to establish the type of the client, what their current circumstances are within that type. So it's like we're drilling down a little bit more, and then how you can actually help them in that capacity. And if you're looking at it from the other standpoint, you're a dog sitter, you're a photographer, you're somebody who does makeup, you have to say, what help do I need in this capacity now in my current situation? What am I missing? Like right now, what do I not know? You need to start filling in those gaps. Like, you have to be completely honest with yourself. What do I not know? Do I not know where to start? Do I not know how to execute? Do I have an idea, but I don't know where the best place to begin that? Or who can help me with that? You need to establish what you need. And if you're a VA, you need to establish what they need and how you can help in that capacity. So the first part of the plan is, the goal is now to establish what type of client and their current circumstances and how you can actually help them in some capacity. And like I say, we're going to discuss how you can do this in a later session. The second part of the plan is the new economy pricing model. So like I say to you, I was always really an advocate of picking a price, setting a price, going for the client market that are within that price bracket. We still have obviously very subtle changes in circumstances between one client and another. You know, there are clients who are still doing business and operating maybe on a smaller scale. There are people who have just completely folded and got no money whatsoever. But on the whole, economically, we're all looking at money. We're all looking at, nobody's being frivolous right now. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put some money into that. I'm just going to put some money into that. Nobody, even people with money, even people who are rich, they're not being frivolous right now. They're being cautious, and they're looking, and they're weighing up, and they're considering. So the market, the economy has completely changed, and the clients are in a completely different position than they were when I was just like, set your price, fix your price, find the client to match that. We can still try and do that. There are certain circumstances right now where VAs are hiring people at their normal rates, but you'll also find that there are other VAs who are also having to shift in order to be able to keep their clients just on like a skeleton staff type thing. So because we have so much variability in this area, I'm suggesting that you need to establish with any potential new client, or if you are the client, or you need to establish what you can afford to invest right now into the business. It's got to be based on how you feel right now about what's going on. It's got to be based on a number of things, how the business is going right now, what you've had to do staff-wise, that type of thing. So if you're a VA, you need to establish with a client, not this is my rate, but what can you afford right now? What are you prepared to invest in your business right now? What are you prepared to invest in moving forward in this direction or this direction? And you've got to have an honest conversation about that. Because a lot of the time as well, VAs or people who provide services are in a position where they also need to establish, what can I take? Like, what is it worth me doing this for? There is also B, what potential is there post-COVID for services? So I think in many cases, there's going to be a lot of good potential with clients right now because of COVID, but not right now, later. So we're finding the clients right now and like planting a seed to grow into this tree later once everything's established and up and running again. People can travel and people can work and people can go out to work and people can meet each other again. So it's about looking at the business and weighing up, like, if I drop my rates, if I do this service maybe at a much reduced cost than normal, if I decide to halve my rates for these particular clients for a period of time, is it worth doing that? Because potentially after COVID is finished, there could be a business that's just going to hit the ground running again and be able to really, especially with your help during this period of time as well. So you've got to think about, after this has ended, what potential is there with this client? If there is absolutely no potential whatsoever, you might decide it's not the right fit for you. But either way, you also have to discuss and ask yourself, what am I willing to accept based on these two things? What am I willing to accept based on what the client can afford to pay me right now and what potential there is post-COVID? So only you can decide that. And there is no shame in reducing your rates right now. There is no shame or devaluing yourself right now if you say, do you know what, I'm really light on work and I really want to do some work and I can help this person, and this person deserves to get a break, this person deserves some help, and they're going to give the best to me and I'm going to give the best to them. We're just going to see where it goes. There's no obligation. So it's extremely important to tell clients what your normal price would be. I'm not dismissing at all. If you come to the point where you hire a client during these times and they can pay your normal rate, fantastic, do it. I'm not saying you should do not, but if you're in a position where you need some business, things aren't going well, any income's better than no income, you need to put some food on the table, then consider being flexible. But during this, be flexible, but also state, this is what it would normally cost. The reason that you're getting this right now is because of this pandemic. I would not normally get out of bed for this amount of money. Like, communicate it, not necessarily in such a harsh way, but just communicate, like, this is not the norm for me. And as soon as things go back to normal, I will be looking for clients who are going to be paying me this rate. And I can't guarantee that I'll be able to continue this rate for you after this is all over. So just clear communication and managing client expectations is so important. And then the final part is adapting and learning new skills. So, and this is basically to function. So whether you are a VA or a business owner, you could be in a position right now. We're going to be looking at how to adapt businesses later in another session, but you could be looking at right now thinking the services that I were offering, they're just simply not going to work right now, or they're not needed right now. So maybe I'm going to have to start adjusting myself or thinking about how I'm going to adjust my business. And if you're somebody who has had an offline business, you might start thinking to yourself, okay, well, maybe I need to start looking a little bit into tech. Even if I'm not techie, I need to start just considering opening myself up to this or considering hiring. So there may be some holes in your skill set to be able to adapt, create, or adjust during these times. So if you're going to be providing a full service to clients using some of the package suggestions that I'm suggesting later on in, I think, the third session, I'm going to present some package options to you, some ideas of how you can help clients, or if you are in business already and not servicing clients, how you can adapt your own business to working in these times. You need to give consideration as to whether you, first of all, educate yourself Do you need to start learning new skills? These are like things that we have to face. Like, we're going to adapt now, we're going to change. This is all starting over. Do I have to educate myself? Do I have to hire help on my team? If you're a VA, do you have to start hiring other VAs to help you start adapting because your skill set is not quite adequate to be able to fulfill the needs of the new types of clients? Or are you going to have to start hiring help on your team if you are a business owner, but you don't know how to adapt, you don't know how to go online, and you're not technical minded, and you don't know how to use systems that you're going to need and that are essential for your business to start functioning in a new way? Then there is the third option of partnering with another VA or several. So if you are in the service industry, you might say to yourself, well, I've got this skill, but I don't want to hire on my team. And I know that in order to service these new types of clients, I'm going to need this skill. So I'm going to go out and find a VA, and maybe we can team up and partner together. So it's always a good idea to start posting in groups, start posting in the Facebook groups saying, I'm a VA, I do this, this, and this. If anyone is looking for these types of skills, I'm also looking to start doing this, this, and this. So maybe we can partner together. So let's start communicating. Let's start sharing and working together in order to provide the service that needs to be provided. We'll find there are many generalist VAs out there who are doing exceptionally well right now because they are generalist VAs and they haven't niched down into one particular sector or one market that's just gone pop or anything like that. And, you know, they're in the good all-round operations management side of things where they can just put their hand into everything and piece it all together for a client. Those people are doing really well. They probably don't need to hire anyone. But you either got to educate yourself at these times, you've got to hire help on your team, or hire someone to support you that knows things that you don't know, or you've got to partner with another person or another business that will complement. And we're going to talk again about this. We're going to talk about partnering in the next session tonight, by the way. So that's where we're at right now. So throughout these sessions, I'll be providing resources and I'll be suggesting links that can help you through these things that are going to be required in order to move forward and work online now. So some are based on my training, some are from other people, and many third-party technical services and systems I'm going to suggest. There will also be some affiliate links in there for systems that I personally use myself, and I get an affiliate link because I use the system. So if you would like to sign up with those affiliate links, that's fine, or you can go direct to the website. So from here on in, what we're going to be doing is looking at how we take this idea, this concept of the new types of clients and this concept of the new plan of moving forward, and we're going to be drilling down into the details of how we can make this work and how we can set this up and how we can start using this as an actual viable business model. So thank you very much for attending and listening to this first session. If you've got any questions, we do have a couple of minutes left to go through those right now if you want to. So I'm here for you. If you do have anything. Eliana says, great analysis indeed. Thank you so much. Whenever I do anything, we always have to break it down, break it apart, see what we're dealing with in order to rebuild it up. So that was the breaking things apart and figuring out what we're dealing with and how we have to deal with it. And then sessions 2, 3, and 4 are just going to be building up how we can just like go from ground zero and start moving forward. So I really hope to see you guys in the next sessions. We have another session coming up in 2 hours from now. So it's exactly the same link. You can come back to this link in 2 hours from now. And I'll just recap on what we're going to be looking at in that session. I'm going to stop screen sharing right now. So in the next session, if you would like to join in 2 hours from now, we are going to be looking at how to prepare for working in COVID-19. So we're going to be doing the prep work, the foundation work. So we're going to be looking at technology, which I know a lot of people have a bit of a phobia about, but really we're going to be looking at technology that's very, very user-friendly. We're going to be looking at creativity and new ideas, this is like my favorite part of the whole thing. I think like looking at what people are doing, dissecting how they're rebuilding their businesses and adapting their businesses and changing their businesses. People are doing really innovative things out there. And I've been so impressed by what I've seen, and I really wanted to share that with you. So we're going to be looking at creativity and new ideas, and we're going to be looking at the roles, or the basic roles that are going into sort of general operations management, online digital services now, to just help you kind of piece together, if you are going to start working online, how you can piece that business together, or help someone else piece that business together, as a sort of all-round general online operation. So that's what we're going to be discussing in the next session, 2 hours from now. So I hope to see you guys all there. It'd be lovely to see you again, smiling faces. Thank you so much for joining me in this session. For your last minute comments, thank you, Stephanie. Katia said, thanks, Michelle. Won't be able to attend tonight. Oh, but you'll join again tomorrow. Perfect. See you tomorrow in the afternoon session. Hannah says she can't wait. Awesome. Look forward to seeing you later. Love the cat, Karen. Yeah, I've got a dog behind me actually somewhere, and a cat, but the cat's on the top of the fridge hiding from the dog. And I actually also have a cat with the same markings as well, the one that's on top of the fridge. So so guys, it's been great. Gonna see you all later. Bye. Go have a drink, eat something. Catch you tonight. 2 hours, guys. See you back here. Love you. Bye.